Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB pro women's bodybuilder, Cheryl Mears. Cheryl has been competing in bodybuilding since 2017 and earned her pro card in 2018 at the Pittsburgh Masters. Thank you so much for joining me, Cheryl. It's really nice to meet you and get to talk with you.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you. So my first few questions are just about how you got started in bodybuilding. And I was curious if you had an athletic or sports background before you started in bodybuilding.
Well, back a few years ago, like when I was in high school and stuff, I did have an athletic background. I love basketball, baseball, football, you name it. I played every sport. Unfortunately, in my early 20s, I developed a chronic condition called ulcerative chronic colitis. So my sports days kind of went by the wayside, and I had to battle that illness for many years, if you will. But I
Sure.
still love sports, and I love being in shape and all that kind of stuff. So fast forward a few years later, and it was around 2015. One of my kids' parents was telling me, hey, you should try CrossFit. It's great. So I tried it in 2015,
Uh-huh.
and they had bodybuilders there. And I kept looking over at them, and it just like fascinated me. But I said, with my condition and my age, there's no way I could do bodybuilding. Well, obviously, I was wrong about that.
Yeah,
So I started hanging out with them, learning a little bit about it, and just got hooked after that. And I've been in love with the sport ever since.
that's terrific. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I was curious who convinced you to do your first contest, that because that I think that can be a little intimidating for folks to kind of do your first contest and get up on stage in a bikini and
It really was. And actually, I was going to a place called Body Sculpting in Orlando, Florida, and Lisa is one of the owners there. And I had no desire to go on stage. I was like most people, you're not going to put me in this little string bikini and show off my body. I said, I just can't do it.
uh-huh.
So there was an event, I'm trying to remember, it was for cancer, and it was boxers, bras and briefs is what it's called. I was trying to remember the exact name. Anyway, they donated items. So what you would do is you stand on stage and you hold the item, and people would auction off, donate whatever. And then whoever had the highest bid, you would give them your bra and the gift, which was
Oh,
pretty cool.
yeah.
So, but I said, I can't stand on that stage. And they're like, you're going to be in shorts and a top. What's the problem? I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I got all nervous and everything. So she convinced me to do it. And I'm so grateful because it started that desire to be on stage.
Oh,
And it
sure.
was just a great event, a great time. And then in 2016, a friend of mine said, hey, I'm going to compete. Why don't you just do it with me?
Okay.
And I'm one of those people, if you challenge me, I have to accept it. And
Okay.
that's how I got on stage for the first time. And
Wow.
ever since, I just loved it.
That's terrific. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to have that person challenging you to get you started. Yeah.
And now I'm that kind of person that goes, hey, why don't we go on stage together and why don't we do a show? And I'm one of those people who's like, come on, let's do this together. Because
Really?
I just really, it's not just going on stage and showing off your physique, it's everything that you have to do to get there. And
Yeah.
it's the friendships and it's the journey that you actually go through.
Yeah.
That to me is just really amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's just so much hard work and dedication too, but
Mhm.
it all culminates on stage. So that's yeah, that's a yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I personally I
Yeah.
don't think I'd want to do it myself. I'm just a little too lazy. But I'll live vicariously through you guys.
Well, I never tell people that they're lazy. You just have other priorities. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's just other priorities.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, I was curious, like, when was your first kind of I belong here in the gym kind of moment? Because I think that, people feel a little intimidated by gyms initially.
They do. Um, To be honest with you, because I was in that CrossFit environment, it was like a very family environment. When I went to an actual gym, I was there with a bunch of teammates. So it kind of was, it was an easy transition for me to have so many people around me that were motivating me and inspiring me and, you know, giving me that courage. So it wasn't like I was that scared little kid by myself kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I had that. But I did have that moment, and I'm gonna fast forward, I guess, in our discussion of in end of 2020. We'll discuss about how in that year I almost died and all of those kind of things.
yeah,
But during that time, after I had lost all my muscle mass, I was very weak. I could hardly lift 5 pounds. And I got through all that. I had to go to the gym. Mentally, I said to myself, you got to go to the gym to get over this so you can be, you know, normal, mentally healthy again. And I think that was the hardest time to ever go into a gym
mm,
because everyone was looking at me and they
mm.
were wondering what happened to you. No one would
Oh,
talk to me.
wow.
And that was really hard to overcome,
Yeah, I
you
understand.
know, that kind of thing. So I'm sorry to jump from one thing to another without telling the
No,
audience why we're there, but we'll get to that discussion soon. But that was
uh,
one moment that I was very scared to go in the gym by myself, but I
yeah,
did it because I knew I had to get over that fear and just keep, you know, going forward.
I understand. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I totally understand that though. Yeah. Now, was it, we talked a little bit about this, but was it tough for you to get up on stage in a bikini for the first time for your first show? And do you still get nervous these days when you get up on stage?
Actually, I don't. And in my first show, I thought this was rather funny because I was with a bunch of people that were going to go on stage. No one had changed yet. We're backstage, you know, they're talking, talking, talking. And I'm like, you know, we got to do this. So I go and I put my suit on and I felt like Wonder Woman, you know, you're changing into your armor and everything. And I was excited. I was just happy to be in my suit. And it didn't concern me like what people thought
Hmm.
because I did the best that I could. This is the best package I can bring. And if
Yeah.
you don't like it, I'm sorry. This
Uh-huh.
is the best I can do. And I was just happy to be on stage. I did not have any fears at all
That's
being up
great.
there. It was just the greatest moment that I had. And I was so shocked. I got third in novice. At that time I was figure, so I got third in novice my
Oh,
first show, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is so
wow.
awesome, you know, and it was just the great feeling to get that.
That's awesome.
And
That's
it was
great.
at Europa, Betty's was it Paris? I can never say her last name, show. And you
Yeah.
know, she has those giant trophies. So it was nice coming home with this big silver trophy in your hand. And it was just a
Oh,
great experience.
at the Orlando Europa?
Yes, in
Yeah.
16.
Oh, yeah. I think I might have gone to that. I used to go to that show. That's a good show.
Oh, it is. I go every year. It's awesome.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think they have physique anymore, those women's physique.
No, they don't. They've
But,
been kind of, you know, bringing, you know, or taking some of the women's divisions out.
yeah, that's
At
true.
the pro level, that is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
liked it when they had physique there.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. You know, I still love women's physique, but last year I moved over to bodybuilding, and now that's my true love is women's bodybuilding.
that's terrific. Yeah, I like women's bodybuilding too. That's a great division, and it's good that you moved because we need more women in bodybuilding, I think too. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I was a little scared about doing it, but
Uh-huh.
after everything I've been through, I'm like, you know, if I could survive what I just been through, I think I could do women's bodybuilding. So I'm like,
Yeah,
let's do this. And it turned out to be a great decision. It was a great first year last year, women's bodybuilding, and looking forward to even a better year this time.
that's terrific.
Yeah.
Now, so was your last competition, was that the Tampa last year?
No, that was actually my first show of the year
Oh,
last year.
what?
So that was my first show of 2022 and my first women's bodybuilding show ever.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, so all that year I was having to learn the moves because some of them were similar to women's physique, but there's still more others, like the lat spread, the rear lat spread, and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I was just having, I won't say a hard time, but it just took me longer to learn them. But I felt so great, it's more like, yes, we could do this, that kind of strength and stuff. So I was just like so excited, especially the lat spread,
Yeah.
just loving all of that kind of stuff and the camaraderie with the women backstage. It was just amazing. I just had such a great time at every show that I did. So I did Tampa, where I got first in over 50 and over 55, which I was just amazed at. I'm like, my first show, women's bodybuilding, and I did so well, and it just touched my heart to do
Yeah.
that. And then I did Linda Murray's show the following month, and I think I got fourth place in Masters division, which was just amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, I actually went back to women's physique, Daytona Pro,
Oh, okay. Very
that
cool.
show.
Yeah.
But and I thought this was an interesting story because after I had done Linda's show, I went into my off season.
Okay.
And a few weeks later, it's up. Now I have to state this. This is on a Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
The show is on a Saturday. So I get a message from my coach on a Sunday. He goes, "Hey, you're going to do Daytona Pro."
Oh,
I'm looking at this phone and I'm like, was this meant for me? And he goes, "Yes, you're doing Daytona Pro." And I go, "They don't have women's bodybuilding."
uh-huh.
And Michael, the producer, he asked me in Georgia a month previous to do the show. And I'm like, "I'd really love to, but I'm into women's bodybuilding."
Yeah.
So I'm getting this text and I'm like, something seems weird, but I trust my coach. First year with him, he's done amazing work. So I said, okay, I will do the show. Now, that's when I believe it was Hurricane Ian that came through. There were two
Yeah. I
hurricanes like back to back. So I think it was Ian.
think it was
And I'm
Ethan.
having
Yeah.
to work. My job, hurricanes come through. That's part of the thing. You're there 24/7.
Yeah.
So now I'm just told I got a show to do in 6 days. I'm working all of these days. Friday comes. I need to be in Daytona, which is about 3 hours. No, I'm sorry, about an hour and a half from me.
Yeah.
I'm still at work. I'm like, I don't know if I could make this. So then finally, about half day Friday, things calm down at work. And my boss is like, okay, you can scoot out. So now I'm grabbing my stuff, driving down to Daytona
Uh-huh.
and make it. And the hotel I'm supposed to stay at is closed. So now we got to go to the other hotel and it doesn't have AC. As all these
Oh,
crazy things that
wow.
are happening. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a reason for me to be here. Just enjoy the moment. So
Yeah.
went ahead and did the show. And I only did one division. I said, I will do the show, but I'm only going to do one division because I am tired. I
Mhm.
just did two shows. My body's starting to wear. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I won my over 55.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. Here's the big kicker. They didn't really want me to compete.
Oh, yeah.
He gave me a special inspiration award,
Oh, really?
Paul Bigham Award. Uh, you remember him?
Who was this now?
Uh, Paul Bigham. He's a friend of Michael who passed away about 12 years ago from, yeah,
Oh, no.
ALS.
Oh, no. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No, I'm not
So
familiar with
anyway,
him.
yeah. So he dedicates this award every year, since the passing of his friend, to somebody who's a warrior who keeps going,
Oh,
despite the odds.
yeah.
So they surprised me with that award, and it just touched
Oh,
my heart. I'm like, now I know why you wanted me to do that show. Now it makes sense.
oh,
And it's the first time I got a sword too. It was such an incredible feeling. That's
wow.
actually the third inspirational award I've had in my career, just because of what I go through
Yeah.
with my condition, and it's
Yeah.
just for being me. And that touches me more than anyone ever could touch me,
I
so
understand.
that was pretty awesome.
That's really
Yeah.
sweet. That's super sweet too. I like that. That's nice. Yeah. That sword's
Yeah.
behind you, right?
So, excuse me?
That sword is behind you, I think.
Yes, it is right up there.
Yeah. Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, soon, like when I rearrange a little bit, I'm gonna actually put it on the wall, put a picture of me and Michael up there as well.
Yeah,
So do it upright kind of thing. But yeah,
nice.
it always touches my heart that he presented that to me. It means the world. It really does.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you hoping to compete this year?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Looking at the probably more August, September timeframe.
Okay, cool.
Just need
Yeah,
time to grow and, get ready for prep. Usually it's like 12 to 16 weeks. So I'll
yeah,
be going into prep pretty soon.
very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was curious what has been your favorite bodybuilding show that you've competed in so far?
So far it's been Tampa. And I hope to do that again this year. It's just an amazing show.
It is.
Just
Yeah,
truly love it. The people, everything about it's just great. And it's in my hometown too. So it's a nice drive instead of having to fly. But even if I had to fly, I would definitely go back to Tampa. It's just a very well ran show.
that's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, I live
Yeah.
in Tampa, so I try to go every year. It's just it is an excellent show, and it's nice to be in my backyard here, so it's nice.
I know, right? That's got a big major show and it's awesome. And I like doing masters and open, so I'm there for the both days as well.
Oh, very cool. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Tim Gardner puts on a good show too. So yeah, and he's here in
yeah.
Tampa anyway. This is kind of his backyard too.
That's his hometown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done several of Tim's shows and it never disappoints me. He puts on a very good show. He treats his athletes with the utmost respect. Everything comes first for the athletes. Very well ran show. So I
That's
would always do his shows.
very good. Yeah, he does do a good job. Now, what was it like when you got your pro card? I bet that was pretty exciting, huh?
That was very exciting. It was my first time doing that. So my expectations weren't high. I'm not saying I didn't feel ready, but it was my first time. So I'm like, just enjoy the moment. This is part of your journey. Just go have some fun.
Hmm.
But I really wanted that pro card. So I did 6 divisions. I did 4
Wow.
in physique and I did 2 in figure.
Uh-huh.
What happened was when we started prep for nationals in 18, I was figure. And about 2 weeks in, I said to my coach, I'm like, hey, I like figure, but physique is calling me.
Mm.
And she's like, but we're in prep. And I go, let's just do it.
Hmm.
So last year, I battled cancer. We came back. I did the show. I'm up for anything. So let's do it. So she's like, okay. And ironically, I got both my wins in women's physique.
Wow, that's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
As a fan, I kind of like physique better because I like the posing and just just the gracefulness on stage, doing the routine and whereas figure is a little too, you're just kind of like you're very regimented, it's kind of I don't know, I don't think it's you don't get to show your creativity as much with as physique or bodybuilding.
Exactly. Because with physique, you also have your routine that you have to do.
Yeah.
And when I told my coach back then, like I wanted to do physique, I didn't realize about the routine. So now we're
Oh.
here halfway through prep and it's like, oh shoot, I gotta come up with a routine. What? So I was like, all right, but you asked for it, Cheryl. So now you gotta live with it. So it was interesting, but it was just so amazing. And all the women that were there, they were so inspiring and helpful. Everyone wanted to see you do very well, and I still have friends from that show. It
Hmm.
was just amazing. So I just loved everything about it. And Pittsburgh's a great place to be too. And
Yeah.
the show is very well ran as well. So
Yeah.
everything was perfect. And not only to get 1, but 2 wins, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, my heart was just so filled with joy that day.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Now, I hope you don't mind me skipping ahead, but I would like, since we're talking about competing and if you could speak a little bit about, the device on your abdomen and what is it for, and is it hard to deal with when you're posing and training?
Absolutely, it is hard. That's when that that device is what they call an ileostomy. That's where part of your intestine is outside your stomach, and that's how
Mm,
you go to the bathroom. And
okay.
that's what that is the bag. And
Mm,
that's for the rest of my life.
really? Yeah.
That'll never go away. When people talk about it, there's different scenarios and they'll talk about different things, but mine is on the extreme side because I don't even have most of my intestines left.
Oh,
And when you have little intestines, that means you can't absorb most foods. So if you
yeah.
can't absorb most foods, how do you stay healthy? How do you, and it's something I can't even answer right here. But I'm doing it, and I'm very grateful that I can not only survive and be as healthy as I can be, but I could still compete in bodybuilding and things like that. When
Yeah.
it comes to training, it's very difficult. You
Yeah.
have to, how can I put it? Because your intestine is out, you have to be very careful because you can twist something or something can break or, and unfortunately go back to the hospital kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you have to train slowly and build your core up. And once you start building that core up, then you can start building other parts of your body.
Yeah.
But you do have to have such a dedicated mind muscle connection, because if you twist or jerk the wrong way, you can hurt yourself very badly.
Oh, I
So
see.
it, it
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. No, I'm glad you talked about it too. And I wanted, just for sake of time, I want to make sure we address that because,
Yes.
yeah, but that's, but is it painful, or do you have pain from the condition that?
Actually, there's no pain from it at all.
Really?
Um, I kind of I like to joke about it, not to make fun of myself, but I feel that laughter is the best medicine kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I was in Georgia at Linda's show, okay? And I'm coming up to backstage where some of the bodybuilders are, the women bodybuilders. And, everyone's on their phones, just, doing whatever, but no one was really talking. And I
Mhm.
was kind of like, I'm in the mood to talk, I'm just not in the mood to just sit on my phone and do nothing as we're waiting. So I go up to four of them. And of course, I've got my suit on and my pouch. And their faces turned from "who the heck are you" to laughter in like a millisecond from when
Oh,
I said this. So I just wanted to let you know about this up front.
yeah.
So I'm like, all right, ladies, I know you're all intimidated that you can't rock a pouch like this.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as I said that, it just lightened the mood, you know? And they all looked at me and they go, "Oh, what is that?" And we started talking about it. And then everybody started talking about personal things with themselves. And we just had like a great conversation. And that's what I use, my condition for, is to share that just because you have a condition and it's kind of different doesn't mean that I'm different. I'm the same
Yeah.
as you,
Uh-huh.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
That's
and
perfect.
and that
Yeah.
was great just to have that like conversation, and it just changed things, for the better. And so I like doing things like that.
That's terrific. Yeah. And it's almost kind of like a symbol of your survival too, because like you said, you almost died from that too, which is kind of scary.
It is because I was 5 weeks out from show in 2020,
Hmm.
and I remember it was like yesterday, and I came home and my abs were really hurting. I mean, I could touch them, and you could feel every muscle and really tight. So I'm texting my coach, and my coach is like, "Yeah, you're probably just cramping, just drink water, that kind of thing." But the more water I drank, it just kept hurting more and more. So
Mm.
eventually I'm screaming to my daughter, "Get me to the hospital. Please. I don't know what's wrong. Just get me to the hospital." So this
Mm.
was during COVID. So she dropped
Oh,
me off and she couldn't even come in.
yeah.
The
Mm.
only thing I remember is that I got dropped off. I went into one of the rooms. Then I woke up. Now, I woke up a week later. I didn't know that at the time, but it was a week later I woke up.
Oh,
3 emergency surgeries. I almost died through one of them. And I can't really see well. I can't move. I'm just laying there.
yeah.
And I hear one of the medical staff say, poor thing, she's probably not going to make it through the night. I
Oh,
still don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm
yeah.
hearing I'm probably going to die. And that was it. I had no family, no one around me. That was it. So
Yeah.
that was really a hard time,
Yeah.
just to say. And my daughter had to make the decision about the surgery because it was like they told her if you don't do the surgery, she's going to die. And if she does this, if we do the surgery, she's probably going to die, but there's a
Mm.
better chance of her not dying. I mean, so it really wasn't a good option at that point.
Yeah.
And my intestines just they were blocked. So the blood flow didn't go. And then once there's no blood flow, you just gotta cut it. That's all you can do. So
Mm.
that's basically what happened.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially being doing all this during COVID and not having
Mhm.
your daughter be able to be there in the room with you. That makes it even harder. Gosh.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, there was no visitation at all throughout the whole thing,
Yeah.
which was tough. And so now my mind remembers I'm this buff woman, muscles, and then 2 months later, I'm a twig. I could barely move. I'm 120 pounds. If you could see my bones, and it was
Mm.
it mentally it was hard because I remember being that, and now I'm this.
Yeah.
But now I've got this device on my abs for the rest of my life. And so now you're dealing with, self-esteem issues, you're dealing with medical issues, you're dealing with
Mm.
so many things. And
Mm.
now you love bodybuilding. How do you,
Mhm.
in the world do you even bodybuild now? And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and we
Mm.
were talking offline a little bit ago about when I went to my first show after that happened, Atlantic Coast in 21.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention about Ivy because it was in, I think around October or November of 2020 when I started to go back to the gym. Now, again, I looked terrible. I'm just being honest. I looked terrible. I could barely lift maybe 10 pounds, but I'm doing it, man. I'm getting into the gym. And I
Yeah.
happened to see Ivy doing some cardio, because she was prepping for Olympia. And
Okay.
I'm not one of those people that go, oh my God, there's an Olympian, let me go over there and go crazy.
Uh-huh.
But she happened to pass by me. So I said, hey, my name's Cheryl Mears, I follow you and I'm very impressed, and, I was very, cordial to her. And she said, thank you. And back then, I'm always talking about my condition. So I get up and I start to lift the shirt. And to this day, I wonder if people think like I'm kind of a perv because I start lifting my shirt up, But at that moment, then all of a sudden you see the device. And I explained to her that what had happened and this was it, and we had, a little bit of conversation and then, she left.
Yeah.
And then I happened to see her often at the gym, just because she was prepping close to Olympia. And
Mhm.
then from there, we just became friends and we've been friends ever since.
That's
So
terrific.
I
Yeah.
look at it as, okay, this is something negative that happened to me, but look at all the beautiful things that are happening from it.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's what
great.
I take from it,
That's
so
terrific.
so
Yeah.
it's amazing. I look at the benefits from it.
That's terrific. I think that's great. Yeah. And like I said, the fact that you're still with us, I think is terrific too. So, and you're thriving and succeeding and stuff too. So that's great.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that I won't say the words, but you know what they mean when you say FML, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So if she's when if she's watching this, she's gonna know that it's her I'm talking about. So I'll be in the gym and she'll come up to me and she'll just be complaining about whatever. Everyone complains. I'm not saying that. But at some point when I've had enough, I just lift up my shirt and I don't say a word. And she'll go, "Ugh, I hate you." And she'll walk away. And it's such a powerful message to
I
do that.
see.
But
Yeah.
sometimes, you got to put things into perspective,
Yeah,
it
that's
can be
true.
worse, that's the way I look at it. But
I think
I just
that's,
had to share that story.
I like that story. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, you were gonna ask me a question. I think I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking about skipping ahead a little bit, just talking
Yeah.
about your family, and you mentioned your daughter, but do you have other kids? And what do your kids think about your bodybuilding career?
I have a daughter. Now let me make sure I remember how old. She's 22 and my son's 23. They do respect my bodybuilding career. They love that I do it. They just don't go to the shows.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's the only thing. It's something about being on stage. It's like, that's mom. Mom doesn't do that. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of in their mind, kind of a little weird, but they do
Yeah.
respect it. It's like if I tell them, hey, I need you to go buy this because I'm meal prepping or I have to eat this, they'll run out to the store right away. There's no questions. If I have to go to the gym and I need them to do something for me, they do it. They know this is my lifestyle and they
Yeah,
support me 100%, but
that's
they
great.
just won't go to the show. They'll
Oh
do
yeah.
everything. They'll pack the car, but you're on your own for the show, mom. And I
Oh,
go,
I
I
see.
totally understand that.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking they should yell for you out in the audience though, right? That's their mom up
Yeah,
there.
I think that would be great, but I'll be like posing because I actually have a posing room in my house. So I'll be posing and I'll be in my suit and then I'll walk from the posing room into my bedroom. And then they'll happen to be, let's say, in between the rooms, I'm like, Mom, please, can you put some clothes on? And I just laugh and I'm like, hey, this is my house, okay? This is what I do. But
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But they do respect everything that I do. And they understand it's not just about body, it's about the dedication that you put into this. There is a
yeah,
lot of dedication, so they understand it's not about just the look. It's about the mindset and dedication. Because if you look at it, when I was in the hospital when I almost died, um there was really no hope, but I believed in myself. I knew I can get through whatever it was at the time. I had no idea what it was.
yeah.
But some of the bodybuilding mindset came in, like nutrition, being strong, doing whatever you can. Because at that moment,
Mhm.
my mind was the only thing that I had available to me.
Yeah.
And so when they would actually start feeding me, and it was junk. I mean, you look at this hospital food and you just want to get sick. It's like, how am I supposed to survive on this? So
Mm-hmm.
I actually, when I was able to, I text my daughter and I go, listen, I need food. And she's like, well, don't they feed you there? And I said, yes, they do, but it's garbage. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to my gym. You're going to get me protein powder, protein bars. So I'm going to at least have something good in my system.
Yeah.
And she was able to bring me stuff. So she would have to leave it with the security guard and then they
Oh,
would bring it up. So at
okay.
least that was available to me. So
Yeah.
she kept doing that. And I felt that helped me recover faster than eating the slop, if you will, that they
Yeah.
were going to feed me.
I
So
understand.
even at the worst time in my life, I still was dedicated to my health.
Yeah,
And that
that's
was
great.
important to me.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that probably having that good, better food helped you too to avoid the hospital food when you were recuperating and such. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I tell people, like, when they talk about, like, if you want to relate this to bodybuilding, when you're in prep and you're practicing posing, you should practice way before the show happens. So when you get on stage, it's automatic in your mind. You
Hmm.
know how to turn, you know where everything's going. You don't have to think about it when you're on stage.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was just like me in the hospital. I
Mm.
believed in nutrition so much that when push comes to shove, I stayed with it. I didn't have to think about what is the right things to eat, what's the wrong things. I knew because this is what I do. This is what I believed in.
Yeah.
So when I was at my worst, my beliefs came out.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm used to doing was automatic. I didn't have to think about it. And that's extremely important.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're running a little low on time. We only got about 5 minutes.
Uh-oh.
But I wanted to talk to you real quick. I know you
Sure.
have a posing coach, and we'll talk about her, but do you have a prep coach too?
Yes, I do. I have a prep coach. We've been together twice. I'm sorry, this is my second year now. Unmatched Nutrition, Clay Parker. I just, he's just done so many wonderful things.
Yeah.
Especially with nutrition, especially with my system.
Uh-huh.
He's very understanding to my needs. So I don't expect him to know everything about my condition,
Yeah.
but we're able to work together when things that I know I can eat, he will find alternatives. And it's been great. It really has.
That's terrific. That sounds like a really good coach.
Yeah, he's very dedicated.
And I just spoke with your posing coach a few minutes ago about Sharonica Hinton.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's terrific. I'd followed her career for a long time as a bodybuilder, but
Mhm.
could you speak a little bit about her and your experience with her?
Well, let's put it this way, okay? When I started with her, I think it was like February of last year. And we met, and I'm not sure what she thought about me in the beginning, but what I told her is this. I said, I have no idea how this year is going to go. I said, never done women's bodybuilding before. I'm not complaining. I explained about my condition. I
Yeah.
said, I can't tell you how my year's going to go, but I can guarantee you something special is going to come out of this season. I guarantee it.
Hmm.
And she probably thought I was nuts. She's like, okay, and then whatever.
Hmm.
But during that journey, she saw me evolve that whole year and we became friends.
Great. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I truly love.
Yeah.
Because with this sport, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? You can have the friendships and all that kind of thing through the
Hmm.
journey, because the journey is the part. I can get a million trophies and that's great, but if I don't have friends and people with me along the way, what good is it?
Yeah.
It's meaningless.
Yeah.
So I just really enjoy the journey. And that was a special journey for me last year
That's
with her.
terrific. Yeah. And she's such a good posing coach. Her posing has always been awesome when she was on stage too. But yeah, that's
I
um
keep telling her, you got to get back on stage. We need you on stage.
yeah, check out my interview with her because I told her, I told her that she looks like she could get on stage now.
Oh, I know. It's incredible. She always stays in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
I'm like jealous. It's like, girl, I turn around and I lose muscle, and here you breathe and you gain muscle. I'm like, that's not fair, So yeah, she really does, keep in shape very well, nicely.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I think I've got time for one more quick question. I just was curious, like, what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding? And how would you try to make the sport better?
That
And we
is
only
a
have maybe like a minute and a half, and I wanted you to do a flex for me too.
Okay. That's a very interesting question. Honestly, I think bodybuilding is a great sport and everything that they're doing. I would just say we continue to have more of the clinics that they put out. That would
Yeah.
be the most improvement. Because it's really hard for people that are new in the industry to get to a lot of the clinics. So maybe some more virtual clinics, things of that nature. But we just need to be giving back more to the community. I think that's how we would improve on it.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, I think that would be really good.
Mhm.
So could you do a quick flex for me?
Let's see. Can you see it?
Yeah, you look great, Cheryl. Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
And it was so good speaking with you too. I really appreciate it. And I'll include your Instagram and your coach's Instagram in the comment section down below. And
Mhm.
I'll get this posted relatively soon too. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay, David, I really appreciate it. And any other time you want to have another interview, just let me know.
That'd be great. Yeah, we could do a part two. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.